The host for the 2014 Commonwealth Games will be Glasgow.
7 years ago, Glasgow won the bid to host the 20th Commonwealth Games. This summer, athletes from 70 countries and millions of visitors will pour into the city. And Glasgow's run-down East End will get a multi-million-pound makeover. But where sporting dreams are made, communities can get destroyed.
We are on the way. There's a massive development coming here, there's a machine coming here, it's called the Commonwealth Games. Of course we're on the way.
For the last 4 years, we've followed the people of Dalmarnock and Glasgow's East End, the epicentre of the Games this summer. With the Games comes big opportunities.
Who wouldn't they want 500 fucking million spent on their doorstep?
New jobs.
How can human beings build something like this? It's unbelievable, man. It's just great, man, how it can be done.
And a new East End.
When will I get one of the houses?
But what happens to a community when Scotland's largest ever sporting event comes to town?
This, in this day and age, so arseholes can run about in shorts for 2 weeks and then say they're going to leave as a legacy.
Glasgow 2010. 4 miles from the city centre lies Dalmarnock in the East End. One of the UK's biggest regeneration projects has just got underway. 4 years to the Games and a velodrome and sports arena, as well as a village for 6,500 athletes, has to be built from scratch. And all of it here in Dalmarnock.
Ready? I'm ready. I think the Commonwealth Games is the best thing to happen to this community.
Yeah, fucking
Putting it up from a decrepit shithole to a nice area.
Once thriving, Dalmarnock used to have over 10,000 residents. Now there's less than 2,500. It's one of the UK's most deprived areas, with a life expectancy 10 years less than the British average. But with the Games, all this might change.
This is Dalmarnock. This is you right in the middle of the homeland here.
At 30 years old, Darren Faulds is a father of 5. A Dalmarnock lad born and bred, millions of pounds are being spent in his backyard.
Oh, you're going to love it up here, Steve, I'll tell you. The full Commonwealth Games, the velodrome, the car parking, the cycling tracks, everything you could possibly think of, right in front of your very eyes. I seen all this land getting clear. I never realised it was so big. It was nothing but trees and dirt and tiles, but what a difference, I'll tell you. You come around here, Steve. Dalmarnock's my homeland. My father's always been from here. And I always taken pride in it. He know that Dalmarnock was my homeland. I want to show you the shops.
Darren is the local entrepreneur. He and wife Amanda own an off-licence, a pound shop and a cafe.
My little empire. I'm going to take you into, I'll give you a tour of the shops. So this is my little off-sale, Steve. Hey Linda, how are you?
The shops are soon to be flattened to make way for the Commonwealth Games. But he sees this as a golden opportunity.
It's just prime land we're on at the moment. And it's only going to get wealthier. See right up until 3-4 years ago. You says to somebody, oh, I'm from Dalmarnock, you know, anywhere in Glasgow, they go, Dalmarnock, what are you doing staying down there, kind of thing. And then, but see, all of a sudden, when the Games was announced that they were coming to Dalmarnock, oh, Dalmarnock, I'm from Dalmarnock. Or the dafty couldn't even spell Dalmarnock.
Just around the corner lives Margaret Giaconelli. A grandmother of 3, she's a front row seat of the new development.
Look, it's fantastic. My man kept saying, oh, it's huge, but you don't imagine it till you see everything all derelict and all, the land all just cleared. It's going to be something once it's finished. It's new beginnings, isn't it, when you see it all like that? For whoever's going to be here. You see, when you think all the houses, it was all here at one time, and then it's just all land.
Margaret's tenement block once housed over 50 families. Now hers is the only one left.
My neighbour moved out 7 years ago. She was my neighbour for 30 odd years. She moved into one of the new houses.
All the council tenants were moved, but Margaret and husband Jack, who owned their flat, remained.
That's me putting the light on. I call it a wee compound because that's where it's like now. They've just left everything. Windows is opened and everything. No, really, I try to keep in here clean and tidy.
Her youngest son Aaron still lives at home.
Call it my rogues gallery. All my photos. I've got 4 boys. A lot of them's been brought up in this house, and that's my wee granddaughter who loves it here. She comes to me every week. My wee father-in-law, he passed away. My mum and my dad, and my other wee grandson, Aidan his name is. They mean everything to me, my grandkids and my boys. We're family orientated.
But 7 years of living in a condemned street has taken its toll.
That's me there. I've lost 12 stone. With what's happened, people actually walk by me, they don't realise it's me.
The City Council have tried to get Margaret out for years, offering her £29,000 or part ownership of a house a few miles away. But Margaret wants to stay mortgage free and in the area she grew up in.
This wee was older nanny. This belonged to my mammy.
She has now been served a compulsory purchase order for £30,000, giving the council the right to take her home.
Where I'm sitting is where the Commonwealth Village is, and as far as I'm led to believe, that my building's got to be down for next year.
$700 new houses will be built between Margaret's house and the Clyde, and a further 765 after the Games.
We do it there, it might be better.
Local councillor George Redmond remembers how the River Clyde was used to sell Glasgow to the Commonwealth Games Federation.
Delegates come in there, they walk down this path. It's springtime and summer, the trees are green, you know, the animals are all about the place, you know, the ducks and the swans are swimming, there's people on their bikes, there's joggers, you know, there's the rowers come right down here as well. So they're saying all of that, and they're selling a vision about how Dalmarnock would look once it was regenerated, and once they had the houses right on the Clyde itself.
George has been rooting for Dalmarnock since being elected in 1999.
It's what you've known, what you've grown up with. Been born into the area, you know, you've been raised in the area. My family have a history there. I have so many relatives and friends, you know, within that area, and you really want to do well for them. You want to do well for that neighbourhood. They needed a wee bit of inspiration, and they needed, you know, just somebody to come up with a way forward for them. Hopefully through the Games, you know, we're putting Dalmarnock back on the map, but back on the map where people are proud to say, come and visit me, you know, in Dalmarnock. Come and see the new facilities that are there. You drop that stuff in for me?
One of the main attractions will be the velodrome and sports arena, costing £113 million. And with 70% of those who can work round here unemployed, it's a chance for some local boys to learn a trade on one of the game's biggest construction projects.
Once I found out about the Commonwealth Games, I really wanted to get on a job on site, do something really a part of it.
18-year-old Stephen is from nearby Denniston.
At first, I was a bit nervous coming on here because when I was at school, I was a class clown. I hardly had any standard grades. In here, I feel as if I can gain a lot more achievements and plus do something in life what I want to do.
Just weeks into his new job, and Stephen is already getting a reputation.
So Stephen, why do we call you Golden Straw?
Golden Straw, because you're a fucking shit.
That's what you've got to go in life. Sicken up. So I can become an engineer.
Fucking old, hold on, never like shit. Put it out of your pocket and take it to Antiques Roadshow. It's mad, isn't it?
Workmate Liam also grew up here, but he's unsure about what he's seeing.
All my childhood memories are here, and basically they've all just been flattened and something's got to get built on top of it. Does this going to make it better? Or is it going to make it worse? Time will tell, but minute.
Today, Glasgow's East End has a mixed reputation, and Dalmarnock's no different. But it was once a thriving community.
And I remember all the wains and all the dugs, and all the gangs all running up and down the streets. It was something else, what it was. The good old days, as you say. Been and gone.
And when Councillor Redmond was growing up, there was little unemployment.
60s, early 70s. A fantastic place, and you know, just that whole bedlam of people. I mean, this whole street here was tenements at one point. My family, you know, my uncle and my grandfather had shops, a grocer's shop, a furniture shop, you know, so there was a bit of prosperity, you know, in those days, and a fantastic place to live, full employment, lots of opportunities.
Many who lived here provided the skilled labour for Glasgow's renowned shipbuilding industry. By the late 70s, the industry declined. Before long, East End tenement slums were amongst the worst in Europe. The city's answer? Whole-scale demolition. And tenants scattered. In 2005, another round of demolitions. This time the high-rises that had replaced the tenements. Soon the only people left in Dalmarnock were the ones who couldn't get out. Demolished and demoralised, for the community the Games are a chance to bring back some prosperity. With 4 years to go to the Games, there's a big event in Dalmarnock's hub, the community centre. Today the council is setting out its vision for the first time to the locals. Both George and Darren have come to hear the man with the plan, Councillor Archie Graham.
I'm the politician that's responsible for everything to do with the Games. What that means really is that if the Games go well, the Lord Provost, the leader of the council, will take all the credit. And if there are any difficulties, guess who's going to get the blame? It's my responsibility from the council's perspective to make sure the Games are delivered on time, on budget, and leave a lasting legacy for the city of Glasgow. I'm up for that. I'll make sure that happens. Ladies and gentlemen, we need the public to be behind what we're doing, to support our efforts and to believe that they can benefit from the Games.
Tagged onto the Games is around £2 billion to be spent here in the East End over the next 20 years. From housing to a new business park and train station, this is one of the UK's biggest regeneration projects.
We will unashamedly use the Commonwealth Games to help us regenerate the East End of the city, which is long overdue. We are determined to try and get to as many Glaswegians as we possibly can to improve their life expectancy, to improve their lifestyle, and to, generally speaking, improve their standard of living on the back of the Games.
As work progresses on the velodrome, the Athletes' Village is just getting started. But before you can build the future, you need to get rid of the past. Margaret Giaconelli has decided to refuse the council's order and stay put.
You can see there's where she's living. You know, the tenement. Somebody said to me, do you not think she likes the attention? And I'm thinking, but why would you want the attention of living in a place where the water system can't be the best? You know, you can't probably heat the property. You know, do people go and visit you there, or, you know, can you bring a family in? No, I don't really know.
George Redding's no did anything for me. He's maybe doing it for the Commonwealth Village, but he's no did anything for me.
It's very difficult to advocate and represent someone when you don't really know what they want. Does she want a house? Does she want money? Does she want both? I don't really know what she wants, but the compulsory purchase orders have been sent, and I'm sure that'll concentrate minds and get a solution for Margaret.
The compulsory purchase order of £30,000 is not enough to buy Margaret a similar two-bedroom flat here in the East End.
I'm only a wee woman for the East End of Glasgow. I'm a Glaswegian, and I've got rights like everybody else, but the way they're putting it through, it's like as if we are non-existent. I've just got to stand up and fight for everything. And I believe in the council is stealing my house off me. They're stealing it, and they're stealing my property, and I'm going to fight for it because I'm not letting them away with it.
Margaret's refusal to move has attracted interest from the West End. Dr. Libby Porter, a tutor in regeneration at the University of Glasgow, has brought her students to Dalmarnock for a field trip.
Did they accept the first offers, or was there problems with the neighbours?
They all rented. They all rented from the housing association. So of course Margaret had bought her property, and her family had bought her property through Right to Buy, and of course then got stuck in a situation where everybody else got happily rehoused. She applied for a house around the corner, and would have liked to have moved around there, because all her friends had moved. You know, the people that lived around her, all her neighbours had moved, and they wouldn't let her have one because she wasn't a social tenant. She owned her property, so she wasn't eligible to be moved.
We got to ask questions about the roaming nature of these events and what effect they have on local populations. These kinds of events tend to get located, if you'd noticed, in the poorer ends of cities, the poorer sections of cities, because their land values are much lower, so it's much easier to get the land, and you don't get as much of a stink from the local population because they don't have as big a voice as the wealthier parts of cities.
It's spring 2010, and at the other side of the city, the new Commonwealth Games logo is about to be unveiled.
Our ambition is to create a long-lasting identity that will be associated with other world-class leading sports brands.
Today, on Commonwealth Day, all eyes are on Councillor Archie Graham.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's another milestone in the road to the Games, and it's absolutely fabulous for Glasgow.
The City Council hope the image of the Games will help change Glasgow's reputation.
There's been an unfortunate image attached to the city in times gone past. So we're trying to make sure it's the image of the modern Glasgow that people have, rather than the one that existed 40 years ago.
But in the East End, the stats haven't much improved. A 15-year-old boy has only a 50-50 chance of making it to the age of 65.
Did you write that?
What?
Say no to the Games.
Nah, I don't fuck off. I have to.
Dalmarnock boy Callum will be 15 by the time the Games come to town.
Are you coming?
He's a very outdoors boy, isn't he?
Oh, he has to be all the time. He's always out. He's interested in being a fireman and things like that. So, or a builder. Something that he's really dirty at. He likes getting dirty, so something like that.
The last school in Dalmarnock closed in 2003, so the kids now have to be bused to the nearest primary and secondary schools. The odds are stacked against boys like Callum. Living here, he's 3 times more likely to leave school with no qualifications than the average British teenager.
Chelsea's muscle man. Callum.
He's got a bad attention span. He found out he was dyslexic 6 months ago, and they gave him a lot of help for it. So if he found out that, he calmed down a lot and things like that, and he's going a lot better at school.
No, just one.
Just hope he gets the support that secondary that he gets his primary.
2 5s. 2 times 5, Callum. 5 and 5.
10.
I just hope he does good in the future. I know he will. As long as he's out the jail, they want him to end up in jail like a lot of other people and things like that. I want him to do good for his life.
Meanwhile, Darren has received news about the compensation for his shops.
Well, give me 2 seconds just to ask my wife if it's okay if I announce it, right? Because this is top secret information I'm going to tell you. Hand up. Is it alright if I let Steve and Emma know?
Your choice, we can see them.
Right, okay. Right, let's go back out because you're going to make a noise. It worked to 65 grand a shop ago. So it's not bad taking into consideration the size of the units.
And what did you buy them for?
We roughly about between 10 and 20 grand a shop. But we spent a lot of money on them.
With 5 children and another on its way, the compensation could set up Darren and his family for the future.
The first thing we'll be doing is go on a holiday, clearing our feet, paying the bills, and then maybe come back and look at investment opportunities.
Engineering assistant Stephen is also making progress. Today he's come to show Callum School what he and his boss and mentor Manousis are up to.
We have some visitors here today, and I want to introduce you to everyone. First of all, we have Stephen, and Stephen, when he was your age, came to Dalmarnock Primary, and he's now working in the area, building all the new exciting buildings.
My ambition is to become an engineer. I've always wanted to be an engineer since I've left school, but first I need to go to college and sit my A-levels and that, so I can go to university. And if I play my cards right and hopefully gain enough from this job, at McAlpine will do that for me.
Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. It's great to be here today. We're your neighbours on the side. This is a great photograph of the area taken just about a week or 2 ago. Does anyone see their home in this photograph? Brilliant. I think
Manousis went to one of the best universities in Scotland. Really, he's just an inspiration to me to become an engineer.
not much seems to be happening, but I promise you from now on you'll be seeing big changes. But to give you a better idea of what it's going to look like, I've got this image here. And it looks really good, doesn't it? I mean, this is going to be the velodrome here, and the arena next door.
In a 2 years' time, you'll see that. It's a brand new building. Big arena in Glasgow, look 10 times better.
Amidst all the change in the East End, there is one thing that remains the same. Football. Today it's the Old Firm, Rangers versus Celtic, with Celtic's football ground right on the borders of Dalmarnock. The supporters bring hard cash, good for Darren as his shop is soon to be shut down.
The full fucking street boy reunion, Jags!
Teddy bear! And a chance for young Callum and his pals to make some pocket money looking after supporters' cars.
You watch them and you run away. And then when you see them all walk down, you run back up. I warned them all to take their sat navs out.
So have you done well money-wise today?
Aye.
What do you reckon you made?
Don't know, about £40.
Come on, Steve.
And sales of one of Glasgow's favourite drinks have soared.
Look at my bucket. What's left? Export of tenants. Still ain't left. I'd like to go home and watch a football game, but I obviously need to go out to cash and carry, get more stuff in for them all coming out.
But for many fans, football goes hand in hand with religion. Glasgow's two main rivals are Celtic, historically a Catholic team, and Rangers, a Protestant one. A history of sectarian tensions between the teams and their supporters goes back well over 100 years.
Hey guys, just get my seat and we'll make a start.
Youth workers in Dalmarnock's community centre are now trying to play their part to stamp it out.
So the first week was what is sectarianism. We came up with different definitions and what that was. Some of us knew what it was but didn't know.
In the last 10 years, over 2,200 people have been convicted of sectarian crimes in Scotland, including several murders.
Do you think sectarianism is a problem in your life? Put your hand up.
I'm going to show you, give you a perfect example. This is what I'm talking about. This is the boy Stuart Spence at behind. This is a Commonwealth they've got for him. Come up here.
What happened?
His life was taken from him.
Do you mean he was killed?
Murdered, aye.
Why did you want to show me that?
Just to show you what the sectarianism was like in Dalmarnock.
Where sport has long divided the community, the council hope the games will bring it together.
I am absolutely convinced that sport is probably one of the most powerful tools to bring about social change, bring about a better life for people, and I'm absolutely determined to use the Commonwealth Games in 2014 to make sure that that's what happens in Glasgow.
It's summer 2010 and there is still no set date for the shops to be shut. In Darren's cafe, locals wonder about the council's priorities.
Paying all the money for the railway station and everything else to be done up. But if they leave houses like that for people coming from different countries to see that kind of situation, it's ridiculous.
Why not take them down and give all the community new houses to be spending all the money on all that for 2 weeks? That's the houses there that are staying. Now they're pre-war houses. They're about 80 or 100 year old or something, and they're still getting left there. We want to know if they're coming down. We don't know nothing.
Today, 3/4 of the community live in social housing. After 2014 and a second phase of building work, over 1,000 new houses will be up for sale.
What we will have is we will have a very modern estate, a mixture of houses for rent, houses to buy, and indeed a care centre for elderly people on that site after the games. A real integrated estate where people will have a much improved standard of living, many of them, from the standard of living that they enjoy at the minute. It's a brilliant example of what we're trying to achieve in terms of legacy.
A legacy they hope will benefit Dalmarnock's youth. Today, 11-year-old Callum's leaving primary school for good.
I'm just terrified. I've got secondaries only. It's a wee boy really. It's my baby and I'm losing him. That's him. I've got secondary and all grown up now. It's terrifying for me and I mean Callum. It just seems so wee to go to secondary. That's my last baby away.
Sandra is raising Callum on her own.
Is your dad on the scene?
Oh no, not for Callum's been 10 months. We don't want to see him. He takes drugs now, so he's not getting involved with my kids. And he doesn't really want to see his father anyway, so he's had the choice, but no chance. Whoa! Dad thinks he can pop in yearly basis, but that's not good for Callum. I mean, that's just coming in one day, then give him things, then just walk away again. So that's not good for Callum. I mean, that's not what he needs. He doesn't need that. Do you want to see your dad soon?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Why?
In 2/3 of households in Dalmarnock, children are brought up by a single parent. Darren is bucking the trend.
My veins, I love them. I'd like to hopefully give my veins a chance in life, Steve. It's not something you hear a lot in the East End of Glasgow, because there's a lot of mas and dads maybe haven't worked or can't work.
After over 10 years of trading, Darren is forced to shut the last 3 remaining shops in Dalmarnock. Demolition is scheduled for a fortnight's time at the end of July.
The Dalmarnock's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Anyway, ladies, to the end of an era. Tweet, tweet.
Sad.
Terrible.
Sad.
The poor people at Dalmarnock have to suffer because of games.
Exactly.
Do you give me him?
It was a good wee era at one point and all, now so I just went to shut.
Aye. Did you get that? Here you go for the last time ever. God bless. The final chapter is now closed in the history of Dalmarnock as far as the wee beautiful shops are concerned. 106 and 108 Springfield Road. The end of a great era in the history of Dalmarnock. Tweet, tweet. To be honest with you, I'm saying to myself, I'm not really giving a fuck the shops are shut. To be honest with you, I'm glad. There's hopefully something good's going to come out of it.
Autumn 2010. After refusing to accept the compulsory purchase order of £30,000, Margaret is taken to court by Glasgow City Council. 3 hours later, Margaret has lost. She decides to appeal her case.
I've got to stand up and speak for my family and for my rights to be able to stay in my own home till they come in and start to negotiate. We're just going to keep fighting. At the end of the day, somebody will listen to us.
And listen they do. Soon the family become front page news.
I'm in the house of Margaret Giaconelli. Now, tell us what's happening to you.
If you don't pay for something, that's stealing. And this is what the council's doing, they're stealing my house.
Despite the media interest, there's no thaw between Margaret and the City Council.
The council say they've tried to negotiate, but without any success.
I'm on watch, I'm watching in case MD's coming round to evict me. I'm laughing now, but it's no funny. When you go to your home, you want to go out happy because you're moving to a new home. You don't want to go out sad that you're getting evicted from your home. It'll be the CJ Arden-Lee Street because I ain't going anywhere.
With Margaret and the Labour-led council in deadlock, MSP for Glasgow Bob Doris and Councillor McAllister, both from the Scottish National Party, get in on the act.
The last thing I want to see is that, as we prepare to get the handover from Delhi to Glasgow for the Commonwealth Games, is that we're talking about things like Mrs Giaconelli, when what we should be talking about is the great opportunity that the Commonwealth Games brings to our city. I think it's our job to, where appropriate, act as middlemen to make sure we can not broker a deal, but just make sure that both sides are still talking and they don't both become entrenched in their views, and ultimately make sure Mrs Giaconelli gets a fair price for her property.
My father used to say he's never take the first offer, son.
Well, I'll leave that to Mrs.
He was a gambler.
They're hoping to persuade the City Council to give Margaret a better deal. But on the very same day, Margaret receives a much better offer from the council by post.
Now all of a sudden they've upped heritage and they've offered me, I think it was 60,000 or 70,000 heritage. So.
And what does heritage mean?
Heritage is to do with how long you've been in a place. I think the home loss was only 2.5 or something like that, and now they're up to 8. Well, and it comes to about 80 something. Just need to wait and see what the lawyer says. Take it from there.
Before she has the chance to speak to her lawyer, Councillor McAllister and his advisor turn up.
Can he go back now?
Aye, that's it.
That is the least you're going to get.
Aye.
And I think there's room for to improve that.
Aye.
So that's what I was told this morning, there's room to improve on that. So hopefully you'll get more, and hopefully you'll get somewhere you live that you're happy
I don't
with.
want a mortgage, that's the only thing.
Aye, there's definitely room for negotiation there.
With their advice, Margaret decides to refuse the offer. Meanwhile, the City Council's top brass have some business 4,000 miles away in Delhi.
So this is the moment when Glasgow takes centre stage here in Delhi.
And now, the flag is being handed over to Lord Provost of Glasgow, Councillor Mr. Robert Winter.
Glasgow's looking forward with great anticipation to 2014, when we will celebrate the great sporting occasion which is the Commonwealth Games.
300 volunteers from all over Scotland perform a lavish handover ceremony. Back in Dalmarnock, the man known locally as Gorgeous George, Councillor Redman is doing his rounds.
Gorgeous George, the last of the go-getters.
I remember as a young boy walking up and down this road, and it was really vibrant with people. It was probably 10,000 people living in Dalmarnock at that time. Yes, it's sad, but we're creating a new Dalmarnock, a new village, where you actually have new shops and businesses, real focal points for the community.
What's going to happen?
Having won a landslide in the last two elections, George's constituents expect answers.
Nothing here. £140 a month community charge I'm paying, I've not got a shop to go to. And if I get people stay in here, we built a Berlin Wall right around the area. We can't get out, we can't get in.
There's very few places in Scotland which you'll see the investment that's getting in here. We've got to do what's best for the area, but
obviously.
We can't have
I
one
think some of the decisions are made that they're not thinking hard enough about the people in the area.
Some of that managing change. The managing change agenda. There's never been anywhere.
George, I don't know who managing change is.
Well, that's one thing about me. I'm not going to run away. I think there's that.
Well, you can't run away because you're still doing the road, the credit union, your mum stays in Britain, your brother stays up there. Where can you run to?
No, true.
Because you've got to remember, if you want elected, you've got to show the people that you care for the area.
With Darren forced to close his shops, the community centre tried to plug the gap by selling everyday basics.
It's down the paper!
November 2010. Darren and his family have yet to receive their big payout for losing their businesses.
Not a penny out from you. That's been 14 weeks, 15 weeks, maybe 16 weeks now.
Exactly.
Even worse, the shops are still standing empty, months after they were meant to be demolished.
So far, the shops have been shut for about 4 months, and our community is just pissed off because it's made everybody's life 10 times harder. But we want to know what's happening when the work's starting, when the shops are getting built, when life can fucking start picking itself up a wee bit down here. Because all it is at the present moment is fucking lorries, dirt, stour. And fucking walking for miles to get a loaf of bread.
It's about what we're living in.
With a large family to support and no livelihood, finances are tight. Ten days to Christmas and Stephen is getting frustrated.
They're still waiting on trying to get us into college, but they've not got the funding yet for like us to go. It does get quite annoying when you get told that you will be going to college and then you end up no. We need to wait and see what happens.
Oh, this is good.
Today is his first review.
I've never had one of these before. I'm actually quite nervous about this.
What would you say your ambitions, your career ambitions were?
I want to become an engineer, but if I'm out there every day, then I'm not really learning any experience anywhere. It's a case of turning up, doing the same job over and over again. We've experienced the same stuff, like if we go into a survey, then 2 days later we go to do another survey.
Every job is going to have repetitive aspects, repetitive tasks.
Aye.
So that is something that you need to be mindful of. As a company, Ceramic Alpine are very much wanting to invest in you and progress you.
Aye.
Alright?
No bother.
Okay, we'll keep up the good work.
Aye.
And then it'll be hopefully another year.
Aye, hopefully.
Winter 2010 and the UK is hit with the big freeze. One of the coldest on record. In Glasgow, the council have upped Margaret's offer even further to £90,000. But her last-ditch attempt in court to halt eviction has failed.
He threw it out, he threw it out again, but after meet Mike tomorrow at 9. I've hardly slept, we hardly had a good sleep. Nearness, my full family is the same. They don't know what's going to happen to us. You're thinking things, how did they not do this, how did they not do that, this hasn't been done right. And it's like as if you're trying to correct everything yourself, as if nobody's listening to you.
Margaret and her husband Jack have been spending a fortune on heating, not helped by the empty flats surrounding them.
That's frost, 14 degrees below. Windows have been took out above to froze us out. And if you see this picture here, that's our home there. That's us heating we're heating this whole block.
Normally I would have only been between £800 and £1,000 gas and electric a year. But because they took the windies for above me out, I've been £5,000 a year.
The Jack and Ellies have spent an extra £50,000 on fuel bills since all their neighbours left over 8 years ago. Armed with a new lawyer, Mike Daly, they launch a secondary action against the housing association who owned the flat above them.
I can't think in 20 years of my experience as a lawyer in Glasgow of somebody who, because they were holding out in their house, had the property above them, had the windows removed and mesh put in so that the elements would go in, water would go in above your ceiling and your heating bills would go up and rocket. And that's what happened, and we're looking at a claim against the housing association that was responsible for that. I've never seen that kind of intimidation.
Out of legal options to fight the eviction, Jack, a roofer by trade, takes matters into his own hands.
In there, steel bar across there, screwed to the door, top, bottom, middle, that's that covered. Back door's basically the same. I can't go to work now. I've got to stay here and give her a hand because I can't leave her to Margaret. I'm ready for a good fight, don't worry about that. Nobody walks over Jack and Ellie. That's it.
You need to bring the army in to get me out. No, the army, the SAS, because I'm not going anywhere. I've made up my mind.
While the Jack and Ellies don't want to leave Dalmarnock, Darren is keen to step out. His oldest daughter Cameron is taking piano lessons in Glasgow's affluent West End.
Steve, look here, the big wobbly finishing crane piece here.
There's building work here too. Foundations for another Commonwealth Games venue, the Glasgow Hydro.
Looking at it, it's phenomenal the work they've done. About another year, I think, Steve, if we can back up and have a look at that, I think we'd see a major progress. She always wanted wee keyboards or something, and I says to her, there's no harm in trying it then, is it? What she's doing is just phenomenal. Sometimes me and her ma can't stop laughing at how successful and much progress that she's made for the time that she's worked for, and it is unbelievable, honest. She's doing a great job.
Cameron's reached grade 3 in piano, but Darren won't let her forget where she came from.
My wee granny taught me to be thankful and grateful for everything and anything you get, and that's the way it goes. And as I've seen, if any of my weans were to try picture themselves or compare themselves to people, well, I don't know any more dad that wouldn't fucking kick their way up the arse if they try to do that to anybody, because I would certainly do it. Simple as that.
It's March 2011.
Do you want a cup of tea, Jack?
After 8 years of living in a condemned street, the Giaconelli family prepare to face down eviction.
Four sleepers, steel rod, so they can't chainsaw. So good luck to them, bastards.
Scholar turned activist, Dr. Libby Porter from University of Glasgow is on hand to lend support.
They barricaded themselves in, and the Sheriff's Office's eviction notice, as far as I'm aware, was good from Friday noon, and what we anticipate will happen is that Sheriff's Officers will remove them.
The outcome of eviction is not something anybody wants. Really what we needed was a bit of movement from Margaret. The Games, given obviously the importance of it to Dalmarnock, to Glasgow, to Scotland, will not be, there's not one person will stop that. Athletes Village being built.
As day 3 of the barricade comes to an end, friends and family sneak out for a carry-out.
Come on, Suzanne, tuck in. That's the last supper wears.
You're going your team, mate.
Day 6, still no eviction.
Hopefully Auntie Margaret and your granny and everybody will get out, wouldn't they?
Margaret's lawyer plans to scale up the fight, but getting in to see his client isn't that simple.
Margaret Giaconelli's lawyer was forced to climb through the window of her home to discuss the move after she barricaded herself in. The council, who want to demolish the flat ahead of the Commonwealth Games.
So we've got the application then. I've drafted this application to the European Court of Human Rights. I think we've got a pretty decent case, to be honest. So, right. I've got the envelope ready to go to Strasbourg, European Court of Human Rights. Now obviously, as I've explained,
I know how long it takes.
It could take a long time, right? But the point is, if you're successful, it's a really powerful remedy.
Mike wants to take Margaret's case to the European courts and fight for a universal principle.
The compulsory purchase order process in Scotland is not fair to ordinary working people because you don't have the money to pay for a legal team, to pay for evidence, to pay for expert witnesses. And if you're on a low income, there's no legal aid available.
So there's one there, maybe that pen.
The council have access to QCs, they have access to expert witnesses, so they can present this case in a very compelling way. So in terms of the equality of arms between the parties, it's really a case of David versus Goliath, but in this case, David doesn't even have a slingshot.
Now what's the best way to get out?
Every minute.
Is that dignified? Thanks. Yeah,
As night falls, all but a few press have left, with many supporters having to resume their own lives. Margaret and her close family can only wait.
I feel like a caged animal now. I'm in this house, I can't even open the window in case there's a sheriff officer out there.
Or a hunt coming in the window to grab you.
We're waiting on them to make the move. We can't do nothing. We've
done yours.
Our move's been made. The fort's been built. We're waiting for the Indians coming. To take the fort off us. It's as simple as that, isn't it? What time is it?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, you know.
Day 7. 2 hours to sunrise. Jack has rigged a CCTV camera to give them an early warning.
Christ almighty, that's a lot of cops.
This is what we fucking pay this for today.
I knew this was going to happen, but I put up a fight and that's
Take the door off.
We've got to come in the front door.
My fingers are in this door.
Turn off tactics. Hello, Susan. Turn the lights off. Right? Aye.
Ellie and any other occupants within the premises, I'm asking you to stand back from the door. No!
No!
No! Get out! No!
Watch it, Rod.
Stand back from the door, please. Tom, get my phone!
Right, Emma, hot coming in! No!
British government's allowing this in this day and age so arseholes can run about in shorts for 2 weeks. Then displace a whole lot of people in Dalmarnock. And then say they're going to leave us a legacy. We've got a fucking legacy. Black and blue marks by these sheriff officers. Arrows here, look. That's okay. Oh, come here. Right, get it in.
Sheriff officers are going to come in just now, okay? We're coming into the house just now. The decree was granted against you back in September. There's nothing to serve, there's no plan to serve anything. Okay.
Hey, that's him in there.
I've made that out.
Excuse me, sir. Yeah, to leave, sir.
Next time on Commonwealth City. Margaret and Jack's family home is torn down, with no compensation in sight from the council.
6 weeks down the line, I've not had a penny or any correspondence for them.
Darren uses the compensation money to give his kids the life he never had.
I'm sure it's every man die's dream, getting their weans sent to a private school.
And when all seems lost, Dalmarnock calls on one of its own to save the day.
For us, the only way is up, and to get as much out of this as we can for this community.